Hello and welcome to this Mindful Bite, which is all about why diets don't work. The dieting industry is worth billions globally, and the reason why that is because people go on diets and they keep coming back because the diets don't work. So it's a perpetual cycle. If it all worked every time, the dieting industry wouldn't be worth so much money. But that aside, I just wanted to talk to you about diets not working, because the fact that they don't work can be incredibly damaging and worrying and stressful and very debilitating for people who go on them. People who diet and lose weight and celebrate and have lots of successful, messages and encouragement, and that is all wonderful. But the problem is that if they have been on a restrictive diet, then the chances are, because for 80% of people this is the case, that weight will actually go back on. So why is that? What actually happens? Well, there are a few reasons, and I just want to touch on those today. So the first one is that diets don't teach us to understand or to manage our personal eating habits, and our relationship with food is unique. Everyone's is unique. So they don't help us understand, say, emotional drivers. They don't help us understand the life scenarios, so our day-to-day time management, our day-to-day activities that maybe might impact our relationship with food. They just tell us what we should be eating. That's it. And with the best will in the world, willpower is great to start with. So we can think, oh, it's a brand new plan. Great, I've got loads of energy. This is going to be fantastic. And for a while, we can stick at it. But inevitably, because life is such that it is, and inevitably because we will have emotional factors associated with our eating, and that's too complicated to go into in this little short video. But because of those, inevitably, we end up falling off the wagon. We end up unable to continue that plan. And then we feel really bad about it, and then we will eat more. So we get into a bit of a yo-yo cycle. But in terms of people who do manage that willpower for much, much longer, and they manage to keep the weight off, that's great. But what it hasn't done then is it hasn't retrained them to understand why they had an issue with the food in the first place. So that's the first one. The second one is that dieting upsets our hormonal balance, and it puts stress on our body. And when we get stressed, we release a hormone called cortisol, which has all sorts of weight gain side effects. So that is another one. Third one is that diets encourage us to focus on numbers, on weight targets, on points, on calorie counting, on trackers, on other ways to label foods which are off plan, shall we say. And what that does is we get to a point where we can become really obsessed with those numbers. And it means that our life is dictated to by how we weigh, how much we weigh, how many calories we've had in a day. And that can be very obsessive and very controlling. And again, it's not teaching us to understand why we may have an issue with food in the first place. And in fact, sometimes we can get to the point, and I speak from personal experience, where we actually end up cheating the numbers because it just becomes all about the numbers. Yes, any of you out there cheated on your tracker? Move the little dial on the scales? You're not alone, honestly, you're not alone. But it's because of the mentality that diets set up in our heads. It makes us go a bit loopy. So with those targets, also comes a sense of, yes, achievement if we get there, but also a sense of failure if we don't. And that breeds low self-esteem, and that creates emotional dependency, which for a lot of people who have a problem with food in the first place means that they turn to food. So that's not a very good cycle to get into. There are more. Another one is that restrictive eating makes us focus on what we can and we can't eat. It moralizes food. This food is good, this food is bad, therefore if I eat this food I'm good, if I eat this food I'm bad. And that again can make us feel really rubbish about ourselves. And what we should be looking for is a situation where actually no food is out of reach. No food is impossible and no food is restricted. And that's, again, another little video to come. But, okay, another reason why. Diets often dictate what we can eat in terms of the amount. So there could be quite a lot of portion control going on, irrespective of how hungry we might feel. Yes. And then the last one, I think I might think of another one. The last one is that a lot of diet plans, although they're quite helpful in the first place, and we go shopping and we fill the cupboard with all things that we're just going to eat forever, the reality is that life is not like that. And so as soon as we go out to dinner or we go around to friends, we look at what's on offer, and it can make us feel extremely uncomfortable because none of that stuff is actually on our list, or we don't quite know what to do in terms of counting it or making it fit within this psychological plan that we've got in our head. And so, again, what we should be looking for is a way of eating that actually allows us to eat anything we want, so that we can make food choices that are comfortable and that are easy to sustain when maybe we haven't got control over what we are eating. And who wants to go out to dinner, look at a menu and feel that they can't eat anything, that they can't enjoy themselves? Because that's a horrible feeling, and I know what that feels like because I lived for quite a long time like that. So there are just a few. I think there are probably more if I wanted to make this a slightly longer bite, but I'm mindful of the time. So lots of reasons why diets don't work. So if any of those resonate with you and you don't want to eat like that anymore, then look for something else. Look for a mindful eating approach. Look for an intuitive eating approach. But all I'm saying is don't go back on a diet, because long term, it's not going to do you any favours. I think I need my glasses tightening up. It's not going to do you any favours. We need to find a natural approach that isn't restrictive, one where we can trust ourselves to be able to do it without a diet plan and without following what someone else tells us. And you can do it. I'm living proof. You can read this on my website, I spent 40 years on a dieting roller coaster. So whatever diet you've been on, the chances are I've done it too. And 2.5 years ago, maybe a bit more, I actually fixed myself to be able to manage my weight and eat what I liked and never be on a diet again. So I can do it,